Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you've had a good week. Today we are continuing in the book of First Chronicles with the second half of chapter 9 going through chapter 13. All right, let's get started. Verse 35. In Gibeon dwelt Jael, the founder of Gibeon, whose wife's name was Maacah. His firstborn son was Abdon, then came Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. Mikloth became the father of Shemim. These two were with their brethren, dwelt opposite their brethren in Jerusalem. Ner became the father of Kish, and Kish became the father of Saul. Saul became the father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbal. The son of Jonathan was Meribal, and Meribal became the father of Micah. The sons of Micah were Pithon, Melech, Tereah, and Ahaz. Ahaz became the father of Jehoiada. Jehoiada became the father of Alameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri became the father of Moza. Moza became the father of Benaiah, whose son was Raphiah, whose son was Elesh, whose son was Azel. Azel had 6 sons, whose names were Azikrim, his firstborn, Ishmael, Shariah, Azariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. Chapter 10. Now the Philistines were at war with Israel. The Israelites fled before the Philistines, and a number of them fell slain on Mount Gilboa. The Philistines pressed hard after Saul and his sons. When the Philistines had killed Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua, sons of Saul, the whole fury of the battle descended upon Saul. Then the archers found him and wounded him with their arrows. Saul said to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword and thrust me through with it, that these uncircumcised may not come and maltreat me." But the armor-bearer in great fear refused. So Saul took his own sword and fell on it, and seeing him dead, the armor-bearer also fell on his sword and died. Thus with Saul and his 3 sons, the whole house died at one time. When all the Israelites who were in the valley saw that Saul and his sons had died in the rout, they left their cities and fled. Thereupon the Philistines came out and occupied them. On the following day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, they found Saul and his sons where they had fallen on Mount Gilboa. They stripped him, cut off his head, and took his armor. These they sent throughout the land of the Philistines to convey the good news to their idols and to their people. His armor they put in the house of their gods, but his skull they impaled on the temple of Dagon. When all the inhabitants of Jabesh-Gilead had heard what the Philistines had done to Saul, its warriors rose to a man, recovered the bodies of Saul and his sons, and brought them to Jabesh. They buried their bones under the oak of Jabesh and fasted 7 days. Thus Saul died because of his rebellion against the Lord and disobeying his command, and also because he had sought counsel of a necromancer and had not rather inquired of the Lord. Therefore the Lord slew him and transferred his kingdom to David, the son of Jesse. Chapter 11. The heading is David is made king. Then all Israel gathered about David in Hebron, and they said, "Surely we are of the same bone and flesh as you. Even formerly, when Saul was still the king, it was you who led Israel in all its battles, and now the Lord your God has said to you, you shall shepherd my people Israel and be ruler over them." Then all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and there David made a covenant with them in the presence of the Lord, and they anointed him king over Israel in accordance with the word of the Lord as revealed through Samuel. Then David and all Israel went to Jerusalem, that is, Jebus, where the natives of the land were called Jebusites. The inhabitants of Jebus said to David, "You shall not enter here." David, nevertheless, captured the fortress of Zion, which is the city of David. David said, "Whoever strikes the Jebusites first shall be made the chief commander." Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was the first to go up, and so he became chief. David took up his residence in the fortress, which thenceforth was called the city of David. He rebuilt the city on all sides, from the Melio all the way around, while Joab restored the rest of the city. David became more and more powerful, for the Lord of hosts was with him. These were David's chief warriors who, together with all Israel, supported him in his reign in order to make him true king, even as the Lord had commanded concerning Israel. Here is the list of David's warriors. Ishbal, the son of Hachmoni, chief of the 3. He brandished his spear against 300, whom he slew in a single encounter. Next to him, Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Aphite, one of the 3 warriors. He was with David at Pasdamim, where the Philistines had massed for battle. The plough land was fully planted with barley, but its defenders were retreating before the Philistines. He made a stand on the sown ground, kept it safe, and cut down the Philistines. Thus the Lord brought it about a great victory. 3 of the 30 chiefs went down to the rock to David, who was in the cave of Adullam, where the Philistines were encamped in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, and a Philistine garrison was at Bethlehem. David expressed a desire, "Oh, that someone would give me a drink from the cistern that is by the gate at Bethlehem." Thereupon the 3 broke through the encampment of the Philistines, drew water from the cistern by the gate at Bethlehem, and carried it back to David. But David refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out as a libation to the Lord, saying, "God forbid that I should do such a thing. Could I drink the blood of these men who risked their lives? For at the risk of their lives they brought it." And so he refused to drink it. Such deeds as these the 3 warriors performed. Abishai, the brother of Joab, he was the chief of the 30. He brandished the spear against 300 and slew them. Thus he had a reputation like that of the 3. He was twice as famous as any of the 30, and became their commander, but he did not attain to the 3. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, a valiant man of mighty deeds, from Kabzeel, he killed the 2 sons of Ariel of Moab, and also on a snowy day he went down and killed the lion of the cistern. He likewise slew the Egyptian, a huge man 5 cubits tall. The Egyptian carried a spear that was like a weaver's heddlebar, but he came against him with a staff, wrestled the spear from the Egyptian's hand, and killed him with his own spear. Such deeds as these of Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, gave him a reputation like that of the 3. He was more famous than any of the 30, but he did not attain to the 3. David put him in charge of his bodyguard. Also these warriors, Asahel, the brother of Joab, Elhanan, son of Dodo, from Bethlehem, Shamath from En-Harad, Heliz from Palti, Ira, son of Ikesh, from Tekoa, Abiezer from Anathoth, Sibeakai from Husha, Eliai from Ahoa, Maharai from Netopha, Heliad, son of Bana, from Netophilia, and you get the idea. The rest of chapter 11 is names like that. You can look that up and read them all. I'm just going to continue struggling with the pronunciations. That's not helpful. Okay, chapter 12. The following men came to David in Ziklag while he was still under banishment from Saul, son of Kish. They too were among the warriors who helped him in his battles. They were archers who could use either the right or the left hand, both in slinging stones and in shooting arrows with the bow. They were some of Saul's kinsmen from Benjamin. Ahiezer was their chief, along with Joash, both sons of Shema of Gibeah. Also Jeziel of Pelet, sons of Azaveth, Barakat, Jehu from Anathoth, Ishmael the Gibeonite, a warrior in the level of 30. In addition to their number, Jeremiah, Jahaziel, Johanan, Jozabad from Gedera, Eleuzai, Jeremath, Beliah, Shimrai, Shephatiah the Haraphite, Elkanah, Isahah, Azarel, Jozer, and Ishbal, who were Korites, Jolaha, finally, and Zebediah, sons of Jerotham from Gedor. Some of the Gadites also went over to David when he was at the stronghold in the wilderness. They were valiant warriors, experienced soldiers equipped with a shield and spear, who bore themselves like lions and were swift as the gazelles on the mountains. Ezra was their chief, Obadiah was their second, Eliab third, Mishmana fourth, Jeremiah fifth, Attai sixth, Eliel seventh, Johanan eighth, Elzabad ninth, Jeremiah 10th, and Machbenai 11th. These Gadites were army commanders, the lesser placed over the hundreds, and the greater over the thousands. It was they who crossed over the Jordan when it was overflowing both its banks in the first month, and dispersed all who were in the valleys to the east and to the west. Some Benjaminites and Judites also came to David at the stronghold. David went out to meet them and addressed them in these words: "If you come peacefully to help me, I am of a mind to have you join me. But if you have come to betray me to my enemies, though my hands had done no wrong, may the God of our fathers see and punish you." The Spirit enveloped Amasai, the chief of the 30, who spoke. "We are yours, O David. We are with you, O son of Jesse. Peace, peace to you, and peace to him who helps you. Your God it is who helps you." So David received them and placed them among the leaders of his troops. Men from Manasseh also deserted to David when he came with the Philistines to battle against Saul. However, he did not help the Philistines, for their lords took counsel and sent him home, saying, At the cost of our heads he will desert to his master Saul. As he was returning to Ziklag, therefore, these deserted him from Manasseh. Adnah, Jozabad, Jediel, Michael, Jozabad, Elihu, Zilithai, chiefs of thousands of Manasseh. They helped David by taking charge of his troops, for they were all warriors and became commanders of his army. And from day to day, men kept coming to David's help until there was a vast encampment, like an encampment of angels. This is the muster of the detachments of armed troops that came to David at Hebron to transfer him to Saul's kingdom, as the Lord had ordained. Judites bearing shields and spears, 6,800 armed troops. Of the Simeonites, warriors fit for battle, 7,100. Of the Levites, 4,600, along with Jehoiada, leader of the line of Aaron, with another 3,700. And Zadok, a young warrior, with 22 princes of his father's house. Of the Benjaminites, the brethren of Saul, 3,000 until this time. Most of them 3,000. Until this time, most of them had held their allegiance to the house of Saul. Of the Ephraimites, 20,800 warriors, men renowned in their ancestral houses. Of the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, designated by name to come and make David king. Of the Issacharites, their chiefs, who were endowed with an understanding of the times and who knew what Israel had to do, 200 chiefs together with all their brethren under their command. From Zebulun, men fit for military service, set in battle array with every kind of weapon for war, 50,000 men rallying with one single purpose. From Naphtali, 1,000 captains, and with them armed with shield and lance, 37,000 men. Of the Danites, set in battle array, 28,600. From Asher, fit for military service and set in battle array, 40,000. From the other side of the Jordan, of the Reubenites, Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, men equipped with every kind of weapon of war, 120,000. All these soldiers, drawn up in battle order, came to Hebron with the resolute intention of making David king over all Israel. The rest of Israel was likewise of one mind to make David king. They remained with David for 3 days, feasting and drinking, for their brethren had prepared for them. Moreover, their neighbors, from as far as Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali, came bringing food on donkeys, camels, mules, and oxen, provisions in great quantity of meal, pressed figs, raisins, wine, oil, oxen, and sheep. For there was rejoicing in Israel. Chapter 13. The heading is the transfer of the ark. After David had taken counsel with his commanders of thousands and of hundreds, that is to say, with every one of his leaders, he said to the whole assembly of Israel, If it seems good to you, and is so decreed by the Lord our God, let us summon the rest of our brethren from all the districts of Israel, and also the priests and the Levites from their cities with pasture lands, that they might join us. And let us bring the ark of our God here among us, for in the days of Saul we did not visit it. And the whole assembly agreed to do this, for the idea was pleasing to all the people. Then David assembled all Israel from Sheor of Egypt to Labo of Hamath to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Jearim. David and all Israel went up to Bala, that is to Kiriath Jearim of Judah, to bring back the ark of God, which was known by the name Lord enthroned upon the cherubim. They transported the ark of God on a new cart from the house of Abinadab. Uzzah and Hio were guiding the cart, while David and all Israel danced before God with great enthusiasm, amid songs and music on lyres, harps, tambourines, cymbals, and trumpets. As they reached the threshing floor of Kidon, Uzzah stretched out his hand to steady the ark, for the oxen were upsetting it. Then the Lord became angry with Uzzah and struck him. He died there in God's presence, because he had laid his hand on the ark. David was disturbed because the Lord's anger had broken out against Uzzah. Therefore, that place has been called Perez Uzzah even to this day. David was now afraid of God, and he said, How can I bring the ark of God with me? Therefore, he did not take the ark back with him to the city of David, but he took it instead to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. The ark of God remained in the house of Obed-Edom with his family for 3 months, and the Lord blessed Obed-Edom's household and all that he possessed. And we're going to stop there because next begins David in Jerusalem. So again, these are just kind of another perspective on David's rule, of the early days of his rule and how he got there. And we're going to just continue working through it from just another angle of his time as king of Israel. We will do that next week. So for now, let us go ahead and close as we always do with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. All right. Have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.